YouTube. How we doing, family? It's your boy, Yo. And this is another episode of Yo Hoops. We go through every NBA game every day. Today's Thursday, April 3rd, and we have a 6-game NBA card. I'm going to walk you through every game, let you know which sides I like, and stick around because I'll let you know my highlighted play of the day. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's recap. Recapping yesterday, we went 1-1. We split our highlighted plays. First, we took the Cleveland Cavaliers laying 11 points against the New York Knicks. The Knicks led by 7 at halftime, so you could have even caught this live, but the Cavs ended up routing them 124-105. Next, we took the Sacramento Kings laying 13 points in Washington against the Washington Wizards. Losing to the Wizards outright in that spot is insane. Just off of that game alone, the Kings deserve to miss the play-in. They currently sit in the 10th spot in the West, one game ahead of the Suns, so we'll see how it plays out. We're now 2-1 against the spread on highlighted plays in April. Let's finish the month strong. Without further ado, let me get into today's games. In our first matchup of the evening, we have the Milwaukee Bucks in Philadelphia taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. Bucks are laying 12 points and the total is 229. The Bucks are obviously the healthier and more talented squad, but I do feel like they lack shooting. Yes, Giannis will have 30 points at the rim tonight, but the Sixers have some sneaky shooters that can keep them competitive. Quentin Grimes, Lonnie Walker, Kyle Lowry. The Sixers probably have more three-point shooters on the court than the Bucks. I do think Milwaukee wins this game, but 12 points is too much to lay with a team that doesn't score the three ball at a high clip. We're taking the Sixers plus the 12 as our first selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Orlando Magic in Washington taking on the Washington Wizards. Magic are laying 14.5 points, and the total is 213.5. The Wizards come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, but no travel as they remain at home in Washington. After what I saw last night against the Kings, this line doesn't even make sense. Orlando can easily lose this one outright on the money line. Washington is still severely banged up, but you guys know what Paolo and Franz do. You can expect 6 for 24 shooting from at least one of those guys. I'm not rushing to the window to bet the Wizards this close to the playoffs when they really should be tanking, but 14.5 is way too much to lay with this Magic team. We're taking the Wizards plus the 14.5 as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Memphis Grizzlies in Miami taking on the Miami Heat. Grizzlies are laying 5 points and the total is 225.5. The Heat come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from Boston back home to Miami. They got the impressive outright win last night against the Celtics. I told you guys, they always play Boston tough. Tonight, this is a bad spot, though. They were already playing shorthanded, and they're now traveling on no rest against a hungry Grizzlies team. The Grizzlies are 2-8 straight up in their last 10 games. They currently sit in the 8th spot in the West. 5th through 8th all have 44 wins, so every game is critical moving forward. I expect the Grizzlies to be all the way locked in and get a dominant road win in Miami. Ja, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane, all their guys are back, and they should throttle Miami in this situation. We're taking the Grizzlies laying the 5 as our highlighted selection of the evening. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves in Brooklyn taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Timberwolves are laying 13 points, and the total is 216. I actually hate fading the Nets. It never works out for me, but here I do think it's the right play. They're now missing Cameron Johnson and Zaire Williams. Then D'Angelo Russell is listed as questionable. The Wolves come into this one at full strength and off the high of that Nuggets game. I think they get busy. It looks like Minnesota found some chemistry in that last game. That's going to happen winning in double OT against a 3-time MVP, dropping 61, 11, and 10. They should beat the Nets by 20 plus easy here. We're taking the Wolves laying the 13 as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Portland Trailblazers in Toronto taking on the Toronto Raptors. Blazers are laying 5 points, and the total is 224. Both teams are so banged up coming into this one, it's hard to look at either side. I'm more viewing this from the perspective of the playoff implications. Both teams have a slim chance to make the play-in, but it's definitely more realistic for the Blazers. The Raptors are 6 games out from the Bulls in the 10th spot in the East, while the Blazers are only 3 games behind the Kings for the 10th spot in the West. It's very realistic that the Suns and Kings lose some games down the stretch, and that gives Portland an opportunity. They've been competitive even with some of the best teams in the league, and I think they win this game by something like 9 points. We're taking the Blazers laying the 5 as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our last and final matchup of the evening, we have the Golden State Warriors in Los Angeles taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers are laying 1 point, and the total is 230. This is the game of the night. Bron and Curry, that's one of the greatest rivalries of all time. In this one, I'm leaning towards the Warriors. Their only weakness is their lack in size, and the Lakers don't really have anyone to exploit that. Luka and Bron should get busy on the glass. I expect double-digit rebounds from both, but at the end of the day, the Warriors have the better shooters and on-ball defenders. This is more one I'll be watching as a fan. There's not much value on the 1 point line. This is more of a pick 'em, but we're taking the Warriors on the money line as our last and final selection of the evening. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We're now 2-1 on our highlighted plays to start April, but let's make these last 2 weeks absolutely huge. I appreciate your support so much. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, Yo! And until the next one, I'm going to catch y'all. Peace.